So I'm looking at the effect that maintaining innocence has on federal inmates' ability to obtain parole. And that's an issue that actually hasn't been looked at in Canada. And there's never been a case in which it has been the primary challenge where someone says, I can't obtain parole because I claim innocence. There's been some work done in the United States, some work done in the United Kingdom on this issue academically, but it has not been looked at in Canada. So we're doing novel research, and that's really exciting. It's also an issue that people don't seem to be aware of. When I tell people that Philip Talio, as one of the inmates who is participating in this parole project, along with 5 other main test cases, that he's still in prison and he could have obtained parole potentially after 10 years, but he's in 24 years later because of his innocence claim. They're very shocked, because why would you keep saying that you're innocent to your own detriment? So you cannot get out. And not just obtaining parole, but being able to succeed on obtaining things like escorted temporary absences and unescorted temporary absences, where the inmate is able to go into the community and have some experience in the community. We've seen it more anecdotal cases in the United States because there's a much larger population in the States, so there are many more wrongful convictions that have been found in the United States. So there's one that comes to mind in particular, the Central Park 5 case, where a group of young men in New York were convicted of a very terrible rape in Central Park. They maintained their innocence for years, and they could not obtain parole directly because of that, maintaining their innocence. They were later exonerated because of DNA proving that it was not them. But for all of those years, they could not obtain parole because they maintained that they were innocent. There's also the case of Romeo Fillion in Canada, who also always maintained his innocence, could not obtain parole. That's also a factor in David Milgaard's case. That's also even a factor in Ivan Henry's case, where he simply gave up on trying to apply for parole because he knew that it was a waste of his time. So there are a number of cases, even though it's something that doesn't occur often, because an inmate will realize that they can't get out without just saying they're guilty. So some people, even if, say, they were innocent, they would still say maybe that they're guilty so that they can get out of prison.